First of all, Steve, just looking back to Friday, that win against Sale, you must have been hugely encouraged by the resolve of some of your younger players to dig in and...
Yeah, there was a lot of learning gone on over the sort of 4 games of the LV period, and obviously being financially challenged and the way the season structure goes, we've got a lot of young kids, and in fairness, probably the results don't represent how far some of them have come. I thought there was some real positive performances. I think we've grown from Leicester to the Blues, and we've taken on some teams who see it a little bit differently to us with stronger teams, but some of our young boys have come up to the mark and I thought they've played pretty well. We were disappointed with the first half performance, albeit that we set high standards ourselves, and some of the younger guys we did have some frank words at half time, but in fairness, the way they come out in the second half and ground out a real good victory, and Sam knocking the kick over the end was pretty special for the boys. But it's something that we don't sort of just go back on winning games. We want to win them well and make sure we learn from all performances. But saying that, I'm really encouraged over the 4 games that we've played in the LV.
You could take that into what is pretty important Rabo game against Ulster.
Yes, a big period for us. 4 games, and we've got 2 away, 2 home, so we know how big a period this is. We've taken the opportunity to give 1 or 2 boys a break to freshen them up for this 4-week period, because we know how thin we are at this minute in time with injuries and with the boys in the national camps. And like I say, we are financially challenged compared to others, but it's something that we've used this LV as preparation, ready for Ulster. So it's something we're excited about Friday night. We know it's going to be a huge task to go out to Ulster, but we've been there and done it before, so it's something that we're pretty excited about. And the guys have worked hard this week, and hopefully we can put in a performance come Friday night.
What particular injuries have you got? Any from last Friday?
Hano is no good. Like, obviously we've had Ryan back, he's no good. We've got a couple of 50-50 calls to make on Friday night in around certain individuals, but it's something that we've got to go. And then we have had Ryan Bevington back from camp, but we haven't had sort of no one else, because I think they've had a few bumps and bruises as well. So it's something we are pretty thin, but we're pretty excited going out there with a young group.
And Ulster obviously had a tremendous season, top seeds in Europe. And,
yeah.
I think they got the Ospreys in there last night.
Yeah, look, they've got an amazing squad. Like, you've only got to look at the overseas signings they make: John Afoa, Johan Muller, Jared Payne, Ruan Pina. They're not bad signings, in fairness to them, and to take them through these international periods, it's great for them to have those to call on. But like we say, it's going to be focusing in and around us. We've prepared really well, and we're pretty excited to go on Friday and really challenge ourselves against the best team in the league at the minute.
I mean, it's a big game, and there are other big games going on the weekend. But 3rd against 4th, and obviously the playoff places up for grabs.
Yeah, it's tough, and like, I mean, there's about 5 or 6 teams going for those top 4 spots. We're in a good position at the minute. We need to pick up some points through this period, and then we've got a decent run in. We've got some home games to come, and hopefully we'll get boys back into contention. It's about staying healthy at this point and really focusing on going to Ulster, picking up some points, and then we've got 2 home games, and hopefully this is the part of the season where you can really set yourselves up for a real push towards the end. We need to pick up some victories in around this period to really consolidate ourselves in the top 4. We know how competitive it is, but it's something, like we said, we've got to focus on ourselves and make sure we pick up some points over the next couple of games.
Big time for the likes of Ryan coming back, and Ashley Beck. Obviously disappointed he didn't make the Six Nations squad. Time for him to sort of show what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's some points to prove in around these periods, and like we're lucky to have people like Ashley available to us, and Ryan Bevington. But like you say, the whole group is going to be a massive ask for us in around the squad of 23 going out there. We're going to need everyone to really front up in around what we do. But like we say, we're lucky to have people like Ashley Beck and making sure our set pieces really sort of competitive, so then we can have a little bit of ball for Becky and those guys to really sort of express themselves.
I'm not sure how you can answer this, but obviously the ERC meeting going on today about funding for the regions. How worried are the sort of players that maybe they're not getting paid, or is it sort of funding issue?
I think, look, there will be concerns around from players, but that's not for me to deal with. I know I'm tired of answering these questions. Look, across the board, it's frustrating for everyone. It's around from season structures to financial. We've got so many constraints. It's compared to all the other nations. So these periods get harder for us. It's harder for the players. We're calling on the same guys, and then it has an effect on lower level teams as well. So then you go to Premiership clubs, we call on Swansea players, Bridgend players, Aberava, Neath. So then we drag in more and more up. So then those competitions are sort of, I'm not saying undervalued, but then it's really difficult for those clubs to keep going the way they're going. So across the board, there needs to be something done in around the competitions we're in, competition structures, the way the seasons are structured, and how far back we are financially compared to others.
Last one for me. Is this continuing rumours that Ryan Jones is off to Bristol? Can you shed any more light on that? Or is it...
No, that's just rumour at the minute. Okay.
Is this period going to be decisive, do you think, in your hopes of reaching the top 4, Steve?
I think it's going to play a massive part. I think that's where, like, we've got 2 home games and 2 away. We need to pick up points. It is really important that we need to pick up points and stay in this top 4, because we do feel we've got a decent run in. So we need to stay in around the mix of that top 4 and around these next 4 games, so then we can have a real push towards the end of the season.
You mentioned Hanover. You've got a few issues with injured wingers at the moment. How much of a problem is that proving to you?
It is difficult. It's just managing people. Like, we've lost Ben John to Tom Isaacs, so the guys who play a lot of rugby in these periods, we've lost those. Hano hasn't come back into contention for this week, so it does get difficult. So it's like you're worried about playing Spratty through the LV periods. We had Matthew Jenkins, the young centre, who's done pretty well for us. But then, saying on the wings, we had Tom Grabham, who's been outstanding for us through the LV periods, and still we've got a squad of, he's not involved potentially in the 23 this weekend, so that's going to be tough for him, someone who's done really well throughout these periods. It is tough, and we've lost Bish already this season, so it is a strain on us, but it's something we've just got to crack on with and get to Ulster and really front up.
What can you tell us about Josh Matavisi, is it? Just signed from Ulster?
Yeah, he's a big lad. He'll offer some more competition in round of centre berth. He can offload. He's a good communicator. He can play. He's got a left-footed option. Something we've looked at in great deal. He'll add a little bit of depth and competition to us. And see Becky, there's a perfect time with Becky. You know, it's good competition for us. And like we say, we lose. You see how thin we get really quickly, and we lose the likes of Becky, Biggs, a lot of guys to international duty. So we need to be stronger through these international periods.
Justin Tipperick left out for Ireland. What do you make of that?
It's tough. It's really tough for Tips. He's an amazing forward, and Wales have got 2 outstanding 7s. Obviously, we're more than happy with the 7 we've got within the Ospreys. He's an amazing rugby player, outstanding footballer. He can play in the back line. I do see there's an amazing qualities in Tips, and it's really hard with the 2 competitive 7s, and he'd probably get in most teams in the world at the minute, Tips, and it's just really unfortunate. I suppose it's Wales' game, but I do feel for Tips, but that's something coaches have got to make these decisions.